Hello, everyone, and I'm thrilled to welcome you all to the first episode in our brand new series, the Consciousness Roundtable, which we're bringing to you every fortnight, discussing important topics, conscious topics that are, just quite prevalent in the world right now that we need help navigating. So I'll kick off by introducing myself. I am Luna Starfeather. I am a quantum healer, an energy worker, a psychic medium, a spiritual guide, and an intuitive coach.
I am Shanna Maria. I am a master healer. I'm a psychic medium. I am a soul healing mentor. I work with people on nurturing your soul and nurturing your God-given gifts.
Hi everyone, I'm Sonia Majib. I am an intuitive health coach, a spiritual mentor, healer. I also specialize in ancestral healing and currently in somatic and body trauma therapy. And yeah, so lots of good things coming. And I'm also the host of Speak Your Truth podcast, Speak Your Truth podcast with Sonia Majib, and that is available on all platforms.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. So today, this is the Ascension Roundtable. This is a topic that's on the tip of our tongues at the moment. It's very much alive for all of us because we are currently in an ascension. So what do I mean by ascension? Well, the Earth has been in a time continuum shift, an ascension cycle, since the 5th of May 2000. And this occurs every 26,556 years. This cycle ended on the 21st of December, 2017. However, as predicted, like any shift, like any massive shift, we do experience an adjustment period, right? Like if you think of an earthquake, you get those seismic waves after an earthquake, those little ripples. So this was a massive earthquake. This was a massive shift. This is an historical event in the history of the planet and humanity. So this was no small thing. So we are currently sitting in that adjustment period, in those seismic ripples. And that explains the absolute chaos that is going on our planet right now. So what do I mean by the term ascension? So ascension is a dimensional and biological evolution. So as we draw higher frequency light into our field, we chemically and biologically evolve. So our DNA changes and we energetically change. We are currently changing. We are having a massive death and rebirth. We are rebirthing into the new human. And that explains why we're having all these very strange and very varied ascension symptoms right now. I don't know if some of you may suddenly have discovered that you can eat things you couldn't eat before. You've suddenly got food intolerances or chemical intolerances or allergies that you didn't have before. We are literally changing. So what the ascension cycle is during an ascension cycle, the stargates of the Earth, which are basically like the chakras, the energy centers of the Earth that are located all over the planet, they open up and they allow the dimensional frequency, the higher frequency light, to enter the planet. And as a result, the Earth itself and all life on that planet will ascend to a higher dimension. And this is the evolution of consciousness. This is how it happens. And we are in this right now. So what happens as a result of this shift is that anything that is not in harmony with this new higher frequency, anything that is low vibrating frequency, anything that is out of alignment, anything that is discordant, anything that is old and stale and stagnant and rotten, that no longer serves you and your highest good, things that just no longer work, things out of integrity, they are all being illuminated, brought up to the surface to be purged, to be cleansed and cleared and healed once and for all. And the evidence is exactly what's happening on our planet right now. It's happening in every aspect of our society. It's happening in politics, it's happening in business, in all the multi-corporations of the world. It's happening you know, with the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, sexism and racism aren't anything new. But why have they suddenly become these enormous movements right now? That's the question. And then there's the pandemic. You know, everything that was once out of integrity or rotten that we maybe didn't have under the microscope previously, we just accepted it as our normal. It's now being illuminated and acknowledged as being wrong or discordant or no longer serving us or just out of alignment. And what's happening? We're experiencing an enormous global purge. And this is happening both globally and personally, on a personal level. Why? Because our anatomy, our spiritual anatomy, our energetic grid system is identical to that of the earth. So when you hear all these hippy dippy people saying, oh, we're connected to the earth and all of that stuff, that's absolutely true. We are literally connected to the earth. So what happens to us happens to the earth and vice versa. That's why we're being so affected right now. So here comes the science. Now, if you're a science geek like me, you will appreciate a tangible scientific explanation behind what's going on right now. Because I don't know if any of you happen to have caught the videos that I brought out back in March when we first went into lockdown, right at the beginning of March. I was talking about this. I was talking about the pandemic and about what's going on in our world right now and how to try and navigate through it by coming back to the heart space. And I was just sort of channeling all this stuff intuitively, because intuitively we all know that this is where we need to come back to. But Greg Braden, who is an incredible scientist, actually recently talked about this very topic from a scientific point of view. And it's fascinating. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you right now and then guide you all in a little exercise. So what Greg Braden explained recently is that we're all currently in a conflict cycle. And this is brought about through the relationship between the earth and the sun, between the relationship between the magnetic fields of the sun and the earth. And when the sun changes its magnetic field, it changes the earth. And then what happens to us? When the earth changes, we're affected. So the Earth's magnetic field also directly affects the human heart. And he showed a brilliant diagram, which I wish I could show you. But the magnetic field of the human heart is identical to the magnetic field of the Earth. They create the same geometric pattern. It's incredible. That's how connected we are to the Earth. Now, the magnetic field of the heart influences our perceptions, our belief systems, and our willingness to either cooperate with one another or compete with one another. So when the Earth's magnetic fields are weak, we become more vulnerable to conflict. When the Earth's magnetic fields are strong, that's when we're more likely to cooperate with one another and have more peace and harmony. Now, the way to navigate and thrive through this chaos, through these changes, through these conflict cycles, is we need to shift our dependence upon our outer world, our outer reality for our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. We can't look outside of ourselves to our outer world to gain that sense of well-being. We have to shift that dependence from the external to the internal, because we actually have all the genius inner technology that we need built in to self-regulate and help us thrive. And this is our self-mastery. So here's the clever bit. So just as we have neurons in our brain, we also have neurons in our heart, and these are called sensory neurites. And these are the cells that help us to self-regulate through thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and emotions. Now, the heart neurons allow the heart to learn, to remember, to sense, and to feel. Just like the heart is like another brain. So it's really interesting how we all intuitively acknowledge that the heart is like the center of our being. It's the seat of our soul. You know, it's the portal to our higher being. You know, we'll all always intuitively place a hand on our heart whenever we want to come back to our center. You know, and we use phrases like follow your heart, because that's the gateway to your inner guidance. So here is what we do. When we harmonize the neurons in the brain with the neurons in the heart into coherence, into one system, to the frequency of 0.1 hertz, we optimize our potential. Not only do we optimize our potential, we harmonize our bodies with the resonance frequency of the earth at 0.1 hertz. So it's from this place that we gain this resilience for life, to the planet, to the crazy energy that's buzzing around us all the time. And this is where the healing and the self-mastery can thrive. So this doesn't just give us a resilience to life, this optimizes our health and our immunity. It brings us stress relief. It brings us super intuition, super cognition, accessing our memory and our learning, and access to our subconscious. This is what enables us to tap into our superhumanness. So this is basically sovereignty. This is our true empowerment. This is our true sovereignty, where we return to ourselves for our sense of safety and health and wellness and well-being. And we're no longer dependent on anything outside of ourselves for how we feel. So the world can keep going on around us. The energy can keep spinning out as the world is trying to adjust to its new homeostasis and to heal. And we can remain in a place of well-being by doing the following exercise, which I'd love to share with you now, if you're all willing.
Yes.
So this exercise is super powerful. It takes about, a minimum of 3 minutes, but the benefits, the effects last anything up to 6 hours. So it's really great to do maybe in the morning and in the evening, or any time throughout the day that you feel like you need to step out and take that space for yourself. It's best done sitting up, but you can totally do it laying down if you prefer. So if everybody's ready, let's do this. So if you haven't already, gently close your eyes. And we're going to start by shifting our focus from our outer world to any distraction into our inner world, our inner self. And the quickest way to do this is to place a hand or a couple of fingers on your heart center. Because wherever we touch our body, that's where our attention will follow. So having a hand on your heart, begin to bring your awareness down out of your head, out of your mind, out of any distraction from the outside world, into your heart space, into that beautiful, serene space of love and compassion and wisdom. And now that we've shifted our attention to this space, we're now going to shift our breathing. And we're going to slow down our breathing and our inner rhythms, which will also slow down our brain waves. And we'll do this through counting. So just begin to breathe in through your nose to the count of 4. And then hold for a moment. And then breathe out through your mouth to the count of 8. Always best to elongate the out breath if you can. And breathing in to the count of 4. Hold for a moment. Breathing out to the count of 8. And just continue breathing like this at your own pace, with your focus on the counting to help you regulate. And with every out breath, just begin to feel your body start to respond to this gentle command to slow down. Feeling your body surrender and relax. As you're giving your body this gift of space and calm. And now, while we continue to breathe in this lovely slow way, we're now going to shift our feeling. And one of the highest frequency feelings or emotions we can cultivate that brings about instant healing is that of gratitude. So if you're not feeling gratitude consciously at the moment for anything in particular, just try and think of something in your life that you're extremely grateful for. It could be something that happened today. It could be a person in your life. It could be something you've achieved. It could be the place you're in right now. It could be something really trivial or something enormous, like your general safety in this life. The love that's in your life, your security, your family, your friendships, the work you do, the dollar bill you found on the street this morning, the small kindness somebody showed you in the post office. Anything that brings you that feeling of gratitude. The kind of feeling that puts a smile on your face and a smile in your heart. That generates that lovely warm sense of well-being and love and comfort. And just breathe into that feeling from your heart. And feel that beautiful feeling of gratitude expanding into every cell of your body. Spreading like warm honey till it fills up every cell with this loving energy. And you may have an actual physical smile on your face at this point. And as you continue to breathe, now expand that feeling outside of your body into your auric fields, allowing that beautiful high frequency feeling to spread all through your aura, changing the energy around you, raising that frequency and increasing your sense of gratitude and love and compassion and well-being. Feeling this love radiating from your heart all throughout you and all around you. And just enjoying sitting in this space, this harmonized space. Connected to your heart, connected to your breathing, just smiling inside and out. Noticing how you feel, the sensations, the stillness, the joy, and how your body's responding, how your mind's responding. And you can do this exercise for as long as you like, but for now we're going to bring it to a close. So gently rub your hands together, generate some of that beautiful energy. Place them over your eyes and gently blink your eyes open and return back to the room. How do we feel, ladies?
Amazing.
You feel the difference?
Yes.
That's so powerful.
Yes.
And that's just a few minutes that we can take out of our day when we are spinning out, when we're feeling anxious, when we're having panic attack. I've definitely been experiencing those of late. Or when we're just feeling really disconnected or really stressed, spent too much time on social media, the news is getting to us, you know, or we've braved the outside world and we've picked up some of that collective energy and it's influencing us. 3 minutes to just sit in that space, harmonize our brain and our heart, come back to center and just close your eyes, breathe, cultivate that emotion. It's that simple. So I hope everybody finds this tool useful. I mean, credit goes to Greg Braden for coming up with the exercise. I kind of used my own words and put my own spin in it because it's the way that feels more accessible for me. But you can do that however you like. It's the same structure, it's the same principle. So I hope everybody finds that helpful, and that's my gift.
I love that. Thank you so much for that. It would be amazing if we can imagine multitudes of people on the planet doing this, how much that would shift the frequency and the resonance of the planet Earth just by doing something so it's not time consuming, right? It's just about setting the intention to do it. So I'd like to just speak a little bit about how to clear our psychic fields and how to come back into our bodies, how to ground into our bodies. As an integrative health coach, I've learned these tools, and one of the principles that I use in what I teach my clients is the importance of purification and how to purify our body with these ascension cycles. Like Luna mentioned, it's really important for us because a lot of us are going through food intolerances or histamine issues, or all of a sudden, you know, we can't eat certain things that we used to. And I am personally can attest to this, is because our bodies and our DNA and our frequency is changing so much, or it's a universal pause for us to also go, hey, what am I eating? Is this serving me? Right? What are the thoughts that I'm putting before I eat this meal? And just coming back into center, coming back into alignment again in mind, body, and spirit. So on the body aspect, it's about, is this fueling you optimally? Is this highly processed? Does this have artificial colors and dyes and different toxic chemicals in it that are no longer serving us? The whole point about ascension is about ascending in all ways. And so and it will make the cycle easier on our bodies as our bodies navigate this very tumultuous shift. On the mind aspect, it's what are your thoughts? You know, are you taking time to ground? Are you taking time to purify your environment, right? What you're taking in, the information that you're taking in from the media, social media, the news, and, you know, clearing the psychic miasma even from your neighbors or your partner or people that are coming in and out. It's so important for a lot of us. You know, the word empath is real, and that just really means that, you know, we're sensitive. I believe that we're all born empathic, and some way along the journey we close our hearts up to where we stop feeling because somehow we accept the belief that it's not safe for us to feel. So we close our hearts up so much. So the whole point about having awakenings and being in ascension is to start opening our hearts slowly and slowly, and to let the light in. And so also being mindful about our boundaries. I think this is something that is so hugely important, is knowing our edges, knowing where we end and someone else begins. And so having important psychic tools that I learned personally that I'd like to share a couple with you here. And again, on a spirit level, having some sort of meditation practice, having some sort of a prayer ritual, a sacred space that you create, a container that you might create, because we receive so much, especially if you're listening, if you're tuning into this collective here. You know, we're operating on multidimensional awarenesses, and we're receiving so much all the time. So it's about really understanding, are we connected to the light? Where is this coming from? And simplifying. Even my teachings are all about simplification, bite-sized pieces, so you can actually do them. There's nothing really too technical or sciencey. Like Luna was mentioning, everything with the heart. The mystics knew this, okay? The mystics knew this in the 14, 15, 16, 1700s. Now what we're doing is marrying science with the mystical and bringing these small bite-sized pieces together again. And so what did the mystics do? You know, I'm also a student of Sufi mysticism, and it was all about coming back into alignment with the heart, connecting back with source, creating that channel, and having, again, for me, it could be chanting. It could be literally just having a few minutes every single day, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, of chanting whatever you'd like to bring in. It could be meditation, something that I love right now that I'm doing twice a day. And this is something I also heard in my meditation, is the currency of the future is going to be sanity. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was like, light bulb moment, sanity. People are literally going insane. And so what we need to do is come back to all these practices. Yes, we know it, but are we practicing it, right? Are we staying in our center? Are we grounding? Are we being that light force, that light channel that we knew why we were coming? We knew why we were signing up for this. And we are the wheelhouse to the exemplary planetary, light bodies here that are teaching how it's done. And it's by practicing ourselves, right? So always being in an integrity and alignment with these practices ourselves. Something that I've learned in psychic school early on was a couple different things that you could use if you're highly sensitive. One of them is throwing down a grounding cord from your tailbone into the center of the planet. Again, always having an intention. This can take just a couple minutes. Creating a cord from your belly button, creating a bubble, a circle around you. You can be playful with it, right? Have fun with it. Clear your psychic field. And you can create some sort of a bubble every morning after you've kind of done your ritual, created your sacred space, and have fun with it. It could be like, every day, pick your favorite color. It could be purple with golden sparkles in it. And so that is your container that's kind of developed some sort of an energetic psychic boundary. And that way you will know when someone crosses your boundary. It's just very small, simple tips like this. You can also open up the bottoms of your feet. Imagine there's a camera lens opening, and then grow tap roots down. It's very important to ground the energies that we're receiving into the earth right now. And again, you can be playful with it, create like rainbow sparkles and, whatever you'd like. The message that I keep receiving is have more fun. Create some sort of joy. Yes, this stuff could be serious, but it doesn't have to. We can still be playful with it. We can still be creative. And lastly, what I'd like to mention is set your intentions. And again, it's something like Luna had mentioned. Imagine a golden sun above your head and bring that golden sun, and you can set an intention into that sun, and you can bring in anything you'd like. You can put in anything into that golden sun, which could be love, abundance, joy, harmony, prosperity, optimal health. Put whatever you'd like at any time of the day that you'd like. You can do it multiple times a day if you feel off. Go ahead and put everything into that golden sun, and then bring that golden sun all the way. Just feel the energy of everything that you've set into that sun. Imagine the light frequency and the energy permeating all throughout your cells. Bring it into your arms, your abdomen, your heart, your solar plexus. Just imagine it permeating all throughout your being. And, this is also teaching us the power of co-creation, the power of how powerful we are, and how important our thoughts are, and what to fuel ourselves with every single day. And so, again, these are very small, tangible, practical little tools that you can use and put into your toolbox, and use them anytime you'd like, and see how your life changes. For me, it's now to stay coherent and to stay in harmony and sane. For me, it's meditating twice a day, and that could be up to 2 hours a day. But that is something that is helping me to navigate and keep myself in a higher frequency, and staying grounded. So for everyone, it would look different, right? But honor where you are. Take the tools. If it resonates with you, beautiful. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. And I'm going to pass it over to Shanna.
I love everything that you said. Yes, we create our own psychic toolkit. And it's so important. These everyday practical tools that we can use are so beneficial. As you go through spiritual awakening, ascension, this journey, it is so important, and a lot of us forget this. For me, it's a daily habit. It's a way of life. There's no breaks. It's a daily habit. But that self-care piece is huge, and it's one that a lot of people forget to do. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It could be really, simple. I start my day with ritual routine. I start my day with short meditation, just quiet. I'll sit with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and I will just give myself that time, that quiet time before I start my day. And whatever comes through, it really sets a tone for a good day. So I always start my day with routine and my daily rituals, and I end my day with these. Thoughts matter. Your environment matters. You talked about the social media, news media. If you are an empath, please limit your watching this stuff and absorbing. Remember, observe, not absorb. As empaths, we tend to absorb this stuff. That's not what we want to do. But really important, if you are feeling that heavy anxiety, ask a lot of questions. Is this mine? Or where is it coming from? I ask myself a lot of questions. But when everything that's going on in the world right now, it's heavy. It's a lot. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. So it's so important to incorporate these simple, practical tools. But self-care and that self-love is a main key here. So something that I do, I do lots of things, but water. You were talking about nature, Sonia, nature healing. Nature healing, that's a real thing. Take breaks. I go out to nature. Water is so healing. I know when I start feeling a little overwhelmed, I just need to get this energy off me, I will create a spa in my bath. I will create a beautiful ritual bath. So I use Epsom salts, baking soda. I also use essential oils. I will take all my crystals and line my bath with candles, make it a really special thing. You don't have to do anything really big. It could be simple things that we incorporate in our lives that really make a difference. especially when we're going through this process, because as you know, it's not always easy. So water is really healing. You don't have to bathe in it. You can shower. You can drink water. You can even sit near water. You know, being near an ocean or a lake or a river, that's healing in itself. But find these things that light your soul. Find these things that bring you peace. It's so important as we go through this, for sure. Oh, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And throughout our day, we are picking up on so many different energies throughout the day. So one thing I do, depending on the day, if I have to go out of my house and I have a busy day and I'm going to be meeting a bunch of different people, for one, before I leave my house, I always do a psychic protection. So I'll do a psychic protection. Psychic protection, psychic grounding, and clearing is so important. So anytime you leave your house and you come back, I always start with a protection, a little protection ritual. It doesn't have to be anything long. It's like really simple. It's just something that I say in my head, and then I go on with my day. It starts with that intention, but I just feel like I have this like protection bubble that stays with me. When I get home after a busy day of being, you know, engaging with all these people, it is so important. Once again, we're picking up all these energies that you're either aware of or you're not. So what I do when I get home is I will take a shower or soak in a bath. I'm washing away all that energy. Water for me is a big healing. Yeah. So, but yeah, our thoughts matter. Our environments matter. Everything is energy. So just, you know, yeah, just find these things that bring you peace is so important. But that self-care piece is so important as you're going through this. And even if you're not in a spiritual awakening, self-care and self-love is crucial, and it's so necessary when going through these things. So once again, find those things that light your soul on fire and that bring you peace. But don't forget about that self-care piece, because it's so important. It helps us keep sane. For sure. Sometimes you know, if you're like, am I going crazy? No, you're not going crazy. You're gifted. We walk in two worlds, right? And this is my saying, you're not crazy, you're gifted. Because at times it can make you feel crazy. So that's my piece.
I love that. Thank you so much for that, both of you, actually. And I'd like to sort of piggyback on a couple of things that you both have mentioned, which is about energy. And it's so important. Energetic hygiene is so important, especially in these times. And as a matter of fact, I made an offering at the beginning of April that I released on Facebook and on YouTube. It's unlisted on YouTube, so you can't search for it, but I'm going to go ahead and put a link to that offering under this video, because what I offered was a free quantum auric clearing, a full 15-dimensional quantum auric clearing for helping you to clear your energy field completely of all auric attachments, all energetic interference, all negative energies, collective energies, other people's energies, and like literally like hit the reset button. And this is something that people should do every day. So it's something you can play and fall asleep to. It works while you sleep. And I found a lot of people, you know, a lot of people were reaching out to me, thanking me and saying it made a huge difference, and saying that, you know, they play it with their kids in the room so that their kids benefit from it while they're sleeping. And it's just good energetic maintenance. If you're an empath, especially, even if you're not, but especially if you're an empath or a highly sensitive person, or both, it's so important. It's basic first aid for survival. It's not even thrival. This is survival. To survive this craziness that we're in right now, maintaining that energetic hygiene is paramount. Taking responsibility for our field, it's like cleaning your teeth, you know, but it's bulletproofing you. And I love what you said, Shanna, about protection, because again, for people like us who are incredibly sensitive, we're so susceptible to all the energies. And yeah, I just want to give an example of what I do. Something as simple as closing your eyes, and I just imagine a big gold bubble around me in the shape of a tear or an egg, like a tear shape, all around my entire auric field, which is pretty big. It's bigger than you might think, but you just intend it. You just intend it to surround your entire field. And then coming up from the ground below you, the violet flame, a layer of the violet flame coming around that gold bubble, so that you've got a double layered shield of protection. Because what the violet flame does is that transmutes negative energy as it's trying to come in, and the gold just straight up protects you from it. So it transmutes as it comes in into positive energy, and you can just walk around with like your armor on. And that's something I do every day, even if I don't leave the house, just because there is that collective and psychic energy out there. So yeah, grounding, like Sonia was saying, grounding, so important, bringing those roots down from the center of your feet. And I do a third from my tailbone, like you were saying, all the way down to the center of the earth, fixing them on, you know, I see like ton weights, like magnets that I fix them on. And then you can breathe up that Schumann resonance from the earth all the way up and into your body. I also, you know, it's important to connect as above, so below for that balance. So I also bring down a column of white light coming from as far up above as I can imagine, all the way down through my crown, down my central vertical channel, all the way down to the center of the earth where my roots are attached. And then I expand that around my physical body. And what that does is that connects you to the alliance, to all that is. You're in the godlight. And when you're in that, you're in the now moment. You're not in the anxious past. You're not in the worrisome, non-existent future. You are in the powerful now moment. And when we're in the now moment, you have all the manifestation magic powers that you need, because we can only create from the now. We're in the past, we're in anger and resentment or guilt or, you know, whatever. We can't be in the now. If we're in the anxiety and the worry about the future, we can't be in the now. So that white light, that column of white light, and then the grounding and protection is basic first aid that I would recommend for everyone. And to, yeah, every day, clear your energetic fields. And a lot of people don't know how, and a lot of people have never had a full auric clearing before. They've only cleared their 7 embodied chakras. So what I offer on this webinar, I also do a presentation about the auric field and I explain about how it works. And then I do this full clearing. So I'll put a link to that under this video. And that's, again, that's my gift to all of you, especially in these times, because we need this work very badly.
I love that you said that. Yeah, all of that's such important information. What I'm noticing a lot is people spinning and people thinking that they're grounded. And the importance of grounding and the importance of just recognizing when you're spinning in those loop cycles, because right now what's with the chaos and the pandemic is that there's a lot of emotional energies. Do you know whose energies they are? I think, Shanna, you mentioned like always coming back into alignment. Are these my energies? Is this someone else's? Having enough of that intuitive ability to understand, is this mine or is this someone else's? Always affirming this or something better, right? This or something better, whatever is for my highest and best. So having some sort of small, even these small affirmations, small tools in your psychic toolbox is so, it's just going to be so important. Understanding that these mental energies are spinning everywhere and they may or may not be yours. Another thing that we're dealing with in this Ascension cycle is massive amounts of trauma healing. So a lot of us have come out from this really tumultuous rebirth cycle. I know I went through it for the last 3 months where I'm finally acclimating now. It's probably one of the hardest things that I've had to clear, literally like caterpillar into butterfly. And so again, there's such amazing work being done in the collective right now. We're shifting, we're going from, you know, the really just what's the word here, toxic patriarchy into stepping into our divine feminine alignment. That's one thing that I'm noticing again and again. right? Pausing and coming back into our heart center, being okay, being patient, being okay with getting the invitation rather than constantly searching, okay? And just another thing is that when it's time, when it's divine timing, it will come to you. So that's the whole lesson in patience that I think a lot of us have learned and are currently dealing with again. The second thing was, again, just navigating. The whole planet is going through a trauma healing cycle, like Luna said, a conflict cycle that we are currently navigating, and it's global, it's worldwide, and a lot of us have done some very major heavy lifting. So self-care is pertinent. It's so important. Even fueling yourself. There's a piece of paper that I have in my bathroom, again, having affirmations written down. For me, it's I am strong, I am powerful. Just always looking at that every time I pass by it. You know, it could be something small because it's small in a sense, but it's large, it's grandiose what we're doing and why we are here right now. Okay, so understanding, giving yourself a pat on the back. One thing that I love to do if you are spinning and you are needing a little bit of comfort and self-regulation, this is a technique by Peter Levine, and it's literally just put your hand on top of your right shoulder, put your other hand underneath your armpit, supporting yourself, and just hold yourself for a few minutes. It could be just a minute or two, and just give your body that attention and coming back into alignment. This is a technique that is used by Peter Levine, who's a world-renowned trauma therapist and somatic therapist. And this just gives your body that comfort that you're okay, you're safe, and you can do this anytime that you want. I personally do it a lot, and it's just, again, another technique in your toolbox that it's for self-regulating. You can come back to yourself a little bit easier. So I love to give small techniques that you may or may not have heard of, you may or may not use, but if you are in a jam and you need to regulate, go for it.
I love that. It's so interesting what you were saying about trauma, because like the global purge that we're in at the moment, you know, all that's rotten in our society that's being illuminated and coming up to be purged, the way it's manifesting in the individual, in the human heart, is all the old wounds, all the old patterns, all the old traumas are all resurfacing for all of us now. I can't tell you, myself included, like how many people I'm hearing at the moment just saying, what is this? What is this again? I've done this, but I already did this. Like, what is this now? You know? And we are all revisiting all this old crap that's resurfacing in order to be cleared and purged. So I just want to give that message out there for everybody, because everybody can relate to this. Everybody is going through this to some degree, whether they're totally aware of it or not. Now will be the moment, if they're watching this, they'll go, oh yeah, actually, yeah, that has kind of come back recently. And just the one message I want to give to you is you're not going crazy. You're not going crazy. You're not losing your mind. This is an energetic purge that we are needing to experience right now. All these tools will help us to move through it. I would also stress the importance of having some support right now to do this. But I mean, to be honest, even the professional people that are supporting me are out right now. They're AWOL. They're down with this stuff too. You know, and it's interesting that this pandemic that's affected all of us, where was it attacking? The lungs.
Yes.
The heart chakra, the heart space, the area of grief. Grief is held in the lungs. In Chinese medicine, you know, they say the lungs is where we store grief. You know, it's no coincidence. So a lot of people have been having physical symptoms in this area, you know, with the breathe. Me too. You know, I've been having anxiety attacks for the first time in my entire life, where I feel like I can't breathe. I was like, what is this? It feels like there's like my heart's in a vice. It's being squeezed. I was like, oh, okay, I know what this is, you know. And people are having this panic because they're feeling they can't breathe, especially if they've been affected by COVID, you know, or even those that haven't are fearing that they've got those symptoms because they're having this thing happen in that area, you know. So it's all connected. It's no coincidence. Like this is a big thing. We're all going through it together, which is kind of nice. I mean, it's kind of tragic, but it's kind of nice that we're all in the same boat. Like, you know, we haven't come together as a world, you know, since like we had a world war. And even then it wasn't everyone. This is everyone. No one's escaped this, you know, and it's like the ultimate leveler, and it's the ultimate wake up call as well for everybody, because this virus hasn't discerned, you know, who is going to be affected. There's no hierarchy. There's no social hierarchy or like nobody's got away with this. So this is our opportunity. This is our healing opportunity if we choose to take it and move with it and do the work, engage, allow yourself to purge, allow yourself to release, allow yourself to ascend to the higher frequency. And the way to do that is by staying in the light. And I know that sounds very woo-woo and hippie, stay at love and light and all that, but it's true. As much as you can, just try to detach from I'm not talking about being ignorant and pretending and going, la, 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 it doesn't exist. As much as you can, trying to actively, when you can, disengage and detach from the negativity, the toxicity, the fear-mongering that's going on. Be discerning about what you tune into and what you listen to, and consciously choose to focus on things that are more positive and high frequency. Choose laughter. Choose joy. You're not betraying yourself or anyone else or the world if you're not serious all the time. Keep that frequency high. It's good for your immune system. It will immunize you against what's happening physically and mentally and emotionally. That's just some advice.
So good. We have an opportunity here. We can either evolve or we can repeat. Yeah. Everything that's happening, it's all interconnected. And we have a huge opportunity here. And the ancestral healing piece, oh my gosh, if this isn't screaming ancestral healing, right?
Yeah.
And it's so important with grounding, clearing. When our energetic, our aura fields, our energetic field is filled with all this debris and this muck and all that crap, that's lowering our vibration. That's, you know, that's not good. A lot of this is a big purge going on, but we got to be able to, you know, clear out the energy every day, make it a daily habit, because that's us clearing out that aura field is so important. Because when we're able to get rid of that yuck muck energy, that stagnant energy that's in our auric field, when we are able to clear it, and sometimes it might take a little bit more time, but when we're able to clear that, that's where we're able to manifest. We are master manifestors. That's where we're able to heal, transmute. There's so much. So it's so important, once again, to come back to taking care of ourselves and the psychic toolkits and just being mindful and aware of energy, learning about energy and how it affects us. I mean, everything is energy. It's just so important. And I loved what you said, Luna. And so Sonia, it just, oh, yes, yes.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah, absolutely. Really amazing, pertinent information that anyone can use, because it doesn't take hours. And you know what? You owe it to yourself. Invest time in yourself. You owe it to yourself. You're worth it, right? You don't know how good you will feel if you don't even try it. And so how did we all get here? We tried something and learned something new, and it clicked that it works and it helps us to navigate, be sane, and help others. Because if we weren't using these things ourselves, there's no way that I could help my clients. I would, you know, every day I would be complaining, I have this, I have brain fog, I have, you know, all of these things. And it's like, but there's always something you can do about it, right? There's a whole...
Yeah, sorry. You cannot heal others until you heal yourself first.
Right.
I see so many people out here that go ahead and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's so wrong. But what the other side wants us to know, I've had 2 near-death experiences, which I came back bearing gifts. it activated big time. I was like literally shaken to be awoken. But one big profound thing that I got from this, what the other side wants us to know is that they want us to heal. They want us to thrive. We are not meant to be bogged down and to dim our light and to our circumstances. We got to rise above that. And doing that inner work is so important. Spiritual awakening, ascension, this is not for the faint of heart. This is being real. It's not for the faint of heart. But it is worth it. It is worth it. When you can heal yourself, when you can, incorporate, these things in our life for self-care, grounding, protection, all that, it is worth it. It is hard work, but it is worth it in the long run.
Amen, sister. And it's, the self-care thing is definitely a lesson I'm constantly revising, because it's, it's a long, hard habit to break, putting other people before yourself, especially if you're a light worker and you're a healer and you're a giver. And this has been a massive learning curve, I think, for me and for a lot of us. And, if we don't get it now, we never will.
Right? I know. My partner and I, we will be doing a masterclass on self-love and self-care, and really, how can we integrate that so it sticks? We hear this, right? Oh, self-care, self-love, blah, 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 blah. But how we integrate this so it sticks? It's so important.
Love it.
I love that. Oh, well, thank you so much, ladies, for all of your wisdom and your knowledge. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. If you like this video, please click the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel, the Conscious Roundtable. And we look forward to seeing you all again with our next exciting installment. So for now, we're all just sending you so much love. Be well.
Thank you so much. Joy. And we will also post a link to all of where you can reach us if you need to, if you need support. So thank you so much for joining.
And the energy clearing as well.
Yes.